Today in this video we are going to discuss about the unit 3 in your water resources engineering, which is the seepage forces. Now I am going to discuss what are the important topics you need to prepare for the external from your unit 3, which is seepage forces. In this unit, the very important topic for your long answers as well as the short answers, which is the causes of failure of the diversion head work. So whenever in the second unit we have discussed about the what is diversion head work, what are the components we will be having for the diversion head work. Also we discussed about the design principles of the diversion head work. So whenever we are going to design according to the principle, so there will be occurring of the some of the failures near the diversion head work. So in that failures, what are the different types of the failures we are going to discuss. So here we are having the 4 different types of the failures occur due to diversion head work. First one is piping, and second one is rupture of flow due to uplift, and the third one is rupture of flow due to suction caused by standing wave, and the fourth one is core on the upstream and the downstream end. So first we will be discussing about what is piping. So piping is nothing but which is used to provide the pipes along the foundation or along your weir, so that there will be having the ease of flow of water from the upstream end to the downstream end. So what you can able to see here, what has been written: waters will be seeping under the basic of the weirs which are founded on the permeable soil. Whenever they are going to move, there will be having the hydraulic gradient or the exit gradient. If it is going to exceed, so the water will be percolating along with the soil. So piping is nothing but along the seepage length of the water, wherever it is moving along the foundation, there will be having the there you will be having the excess amount of the water flowed due to the washing away of the soil. So what are the remedies you need to take in order to protect the percolating water along with the soil? Providing of the sufficient length of the impervious apron, and providing the pilot the downstream side. Whenever we are going to provide the pilot the downstream side, it will not be allowing the water to percolate along with it. Okay, that is about your first type of the failure caused due to diversion head work. Now the second type of the failure is nothing but which is the rupture of floor due to uplift. So whenever the weight of the floor is insufficient to resist the uplift pressure, then this type of the failure occurs. So we will be constructing the aprons or the weight of the floor beneath the surface of the diversion head work. So whenever we are going to construct this, if there is a more amount of the uplift pressure exerted due to water, then there will be having the effective length, where you will be having the effective length of the impervious floor will be reduced. Okay, and what are the remedies you will be having? Same as it is for your first one due to piping, which is the providing of the sufficient length of the impervious floor. And here we need to provide the different thicknesses at the different point. If you are going to provide the different thicknesses at the different point, it will be reducing the effect of the rupture caused. Okay, then next one, third failure is nothing but rupture of the floor due to suction caused by standing wave. So in the components of the diversion head work, the main component is about the weir. With the help of the weir only, the water will be flowing. So in that case or in that condition, whenever the water is flowing along the weir, there will be having the hydraulic jump created. So whenever there is a hydraulic jump created, there will be having the uplift pressure exerted near the weir. So this failure will be occurred if you are not going to provide the sufficient thickness at that particular point. So for this type of the failure, what are the remedies you need to take? Providing additional thickness of the floor to reduce the water pressure due to standing wave. Then next one, fourth and the last cause of the failure. So it is core on upstream and the downstream side of the water. When we are going to construct a natural water with a river, then there will be having the score depth. Score depth is nothing but Okay, score depth is nothing but whenever there is a water moving from the upstream end to the downstream end of the structure, there will be having the washing away of the soil particles, right? So whenever the soil has been washed away, that particular eroded or the removal of that particular soil from the particular area will be giving you the score depth. So what are the remedies is providing of the pile at the both upstream and the downstream end, and providing of the stone so that it will be protecting the scoring in the upstream or the downstream end of your structure. So these are the 4 different types of the failures which are occurred due to the diversion, headwork, and please don't neglect this question. And the one more important topic for your external is about the Blitzkrieg theory. So Blitzkrieg theory assumptions he may ask in your long answers as well as the short answers, and he may also be asking to explain about the Blitzkrieg theory and the Kosla's theory. So now here we will be discussing what is Blitzkrieg theory. So what is the assumption of the Blitzkrieg theory is whenever we are going to design the impervious floor or the apron provided near the structure, that should be directly dependent on the percolation losses of the soil. That is the first assumption which he has considered. And second assumption, he said that hydraulic gradient or the slope gradient will be equal throughout the length of the apron. And he also assumed that whatever the soil length or the percolation length of the soil which is going to erode away, that he has considered it as a creep length. Okay, according to the Blitzkrieg theory, total length L is equal to L if you are not having any of the piles provided at the both ends of the upstream and the downstream side. If you are going to provide the piles at the upstream and the downstream end, based on the length, L will be 2d1 plus total length of your impervious apron plus 2d2, which is the depth of the foundation on the downstream side. So head loss will be calculated. Head loss per unit length of the creep is nothing but small c is equal to head loss by whatever the length. If we are not having any of the piles, then L will be case 1, and if you are having the piles provided on the both the side, that will be the case 2 condition. This is the assumptions of the Blitzkrieg theory which he has done. Next one is what are the limitations the Blix has been considered. That first limitation is there is no distinction between the horizontal or the vertical creep, and it only holds good as the horizontal distance between the pile lines. If it is greater than the twice of the depth only, this Blitzkrieg theory will be limited or it can able to be used. The next one, he did not explain about the exit gradient or the safety against the undermining. And next one, fourth one, no distinction between the outer and the inner sheets of the pile. That is also one of the failure. And losses of the head will not be taking equal along the length of your impervious apron, which he determined that the loss of the head will be equal along the entire length of the impervious apron. And next one, in case of 2 piles, width should be greater than twice of the head or pile. This is assumption which he has taken, which does not give the effective result. Only up to this, only the limitation he has considered, and he designed his own theory. So now we will be solving the problem on your Blitzkrieg theory from in your unit 3, either Blitzkrieg theory or the Kosla's theory problem you will be getting for your external exam for 5 marks. Okay, now I am going to read the question. Figure shows the section of a hydraulic structure founded on sand. Calculate the average hydraulic gradient and also calculate uplift pressures at the point of 6 meter distance, which is A up to A, and 12 meter distance up to B, and 18 meter distance up to C, and total length he has considered it as 22 meters. And find thickness of the floor by considering the rho value as 2.21. So he has given the various distances or the various uplift pressure, and he is asking us to find what is the uplift pressure or the thickness to be provided at that particular points. Okay, first what we need to do is we need to calculate the total length of a creep. So how you will be getting the total length of the creep? The formula is total length plus 2d1 plus 2d2. So what is the d1 here? d1 is 6 and L is 22 and d2 is 8 meters. So the total length of the creep, if you are going to substitute the value, you are going to get it as 50 meters. Sorry, I forgot to write the meters. Please do not forget to write the units. Then next one, hydraulic gradient. So hydraulic gradient is nothing but hydraulic depth divided by the total length of the creep, which is 1 by 12.5. So that are the basics which you need to solve for the each and every question. So now what is the solution he has just to find? He has just to find the uplift pressure at a point of A, which is 6 meter from the upstream end. So up to A means we are going to calculate the total length up to A. So which is 6 in 2d1 plus 6. So which is 2 into 6 plus 6. You will be getting 18 meter. Then how to calculate the hydraulic unbalanced head, which is 4, which is capital H into 1 minus length up to A divided by 50. So that you will be getting the unbalanced head. After getting the unbalanced head, you are going to calculate the uplift pressure, which is W into H1 9.81 unit weight into 2.56, and the uplift pressure units are kilonewton per meter square. Then next step, we are going to calculate the thickness. The formula for thickness is 4 by 3 into H by rho minus 1. So what is the rho value given in the question? It is 2.21. So by calculating, you will be getting the thickness up to A, which is 2.76 meter. So similarly, we need to calculate the distance uplift pressure at the point of B. So which is 2d1 plus L, which is 2 into 6 plus 12, 24 meter. Unbalanced head is nothing but H2 is equal to 4 into capital H into 1 minus length of the creep up to B divided by total length. Then next step, calculating of the uplift pressure by substituting the unbalanced head value and the thickness. And the thickness, which is 4 by 3 into H by rho minus 1. So same way, similarly, we are going to calculate the uplift pressure at the point of C and C up to 18 meter. So we cannot able to calculate the total uplift pressure at the point of D. Why? Because whenever you are going to calculate the unbalanced head, we need to take the length up to the particular point divided by the total length. So in that condition, total length and the length up to the point of D will be same. Okay, next topic is about the video, the next topic we are going to discuss is about the Kosla's theory. So what is Kosla's theory? So why he has determined it? So whenever there are the different hydraulic structure constructed, there are some of the failures occurred. So by considering that failures, he has designed his own theory. So what is the consideration he has taken is outer faces of the end sheet piles should be very much effective than the inner ones or the horizontal length of the fort. That is the first consideration. And the next one, the intermediate piles, if smaller in length than the outer one, they will be having the equal distribution of the load. And the third consideration he has taken is undermining of the floor started from tail end till the exit gradient. It should be considered, which will be resulting in the protection of the loss of the soil. And the fourth consideration which he has taken is it was absolutely essential to have a deep vertical cutoff at the downstream to prevent the undermining of the soil. These are the four considerations which he has considered, and based on this we will be having the different consideration based on the intermediate pile, upstream pile and the downstream pile. And this question is very very important from your third unit, from which you will be getting the problem for sure, definitely either from Kosla's or from the Blitzkrieg theory. Okay, here you can able to see the problem on the Kosla's theory, which is from the previous year paper, which consists of a line diagram showing, and he also asked us to determine the uplift pressure at the point C, D, E and C1, D1, E1, and also he asked us to determine the exit gradient, and he has given the hydraulic depth as 3 meter and at the point of C1, E1 and D1 it is 3 meter, and the total length of the impervious floor he has given us 25 meter, which is B, and small d is 3 meter and the H is also 3 meter. So what is the first step? We are going to find alpha value, which is B by D. Then next one, lambda, which is 1 plus square root of 1 plus alpha square by 2. Then next, after finding the lambda value, we are going to find the pressure at the point of PE1, which is H by pi into cos inverse of 0 minus lambda by lambda, which is H is 3 by pi into cos inverse of 0.469. Then next one, PD1, the formula is H by pi into cos inverse of 1 minus lambda by lambda, and PC1 is H by pi into cos inverse of 2 minus lambda by lambda. So by this formulas you will be getting the pressure at the point of E1, D1 and C1. The next one is about the exit gradient, which is GE is equal to H by D into 1 by pi into square root of lambda. So based on this you will be getting the exit gradient formula. Similarly, based on the formulas on the downstream intermediate pile of the Kosla's theory, we are also going to determine the pressure at the point of PE, PD and PC by calculating the value of alpha, lambda. And then next, last step, he has just to find the exit gradient. So what is exit gradient? The exit gradient is nothing but the exit gradient will be always at the downstream end of the pile. So we are going to consider the downstream depths in order to find the downstream end values in order to find the exit gradient. So these are the very important topics from your 4th unit.